You know the vibes. Another night of NBA action. You're listening to the Hoop Genius podcast brought to you by NBA 2K22. I am Momunsi. Real name, no gimmicks, BJ Armstrong inside the building. Now we do.
BJ, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mo, I'm bringing the energy tonight. I'm bringing the energy. I'm bringing the energy.
I'm glad you are.
Can we start off, Mo? Can we start off real quick?
Here. I need the energy.
Can we start off real quick?
All right, let's get it cracking.
Can we give a shout out? Can we give a shout out? Just real quick.
Of course. Go ahead.
Willie Green.
Hey, man, you beat me to it. There were 3 games tonight, all of which had a 3-2 lead, all of which, teams could have forced a game 7, and all of which the road team won. Not a single team defended home court tonight, which was interesting. So we'll start with, as BJ a shout out to Willie Green, the coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, who had a valiant effort. They went down to the wire. They were unlucky not to win the game tonight against the Phoenix Suns. CJ McCollum had a lot of foul trouble. He's playing most of the game with 5 fouls. Devin Booker made a surprise return from injury. He was supposed to be out for the second round too. He made a surprise return in game 6. There were a couple of calls that were a bit questionable to me all around the association tonight, not just for one team, but it was a great game. I had fun watching it. Our good friend Els was in the club. She's on holiday. She was in the club watching the game on League Pass. She's in the club watching. I respect the dedication. Shout out. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the moves that the Pelicans, because I know 2 years ago, ain't nobody watching the Pelicans games at home, let alone being in the club and checking in. I think Alvarado has got some new fans in this playoff run, and what really impressed me was Jose. BJ's coming to the World Cup. We're gonna have to get BJ a Premier League team. Hey man, listen, BJ's gonna need a Premier League team to support soon because he's getting into the football chance. But Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones in particular, the rookies really stood out for me. They did a great job, but they ultimately lost. Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul had a perfect night. And when I say a perfect night, I mean he entered the history books. Let me tell you, Chris Paul became the first player in NBA history to make 13 plus shots in a playoff game without a miss. 14 for 14 shooting for 33 points. He did not miss. He was in a zone at the arena that he helped build, the former Pelican himself, or they were called the Hornets back when he was there. And, with Coach Monty Williams, who was the coach back there. And now the former Phoenix assistant was coaching the Pelicans. As much as you can get your head around that kind of a tongue twister. BJ, do you remember the last time you saw a game as perfect as Chris Paul's, where someone simply did not miss?
I cannot recall offhand.
The most points in the regular season, who didn't miss a field goal or a free throw? Chris Paul had 33. Gary Payton once had 32. Charles Barkley had 31. And Thomas Bryant once had 31.
Oh, really?
That's a shock. And Serge Ibaka once had 26. So those are the names, but none of them were as memorable as this, because I want to say one thing while we're spreading the love today. We all talk about, and not just we, but the whole media loves to talk about LeBron James, age 37, year 19. Well, guess what? Chris Paul is age 36. And he just went into an elimination game, put up 30 plus points and didn't miss a single shot. And it was surgical what he was doing to those boys. Anytime he got to the mid-range, they just couldn't guard him. The rotations were being messed up. Every time he was trying to dig out Valanciunas or one of the bigs so that he can attack them off the switch, it was too easy for him. He was in a zone. He wasn't missing anything. He was doing what he did best, the mid-range maestro, Chris Paul. So shout out to Chris Paul. Good to see Devin Booker healthy again, getting his legs back under him. And this kid DeAndre Ayton, well, I think in the next round, he's going to have to step up big time, because he's showing that he's a big-time player. He started the game aggressive.
He was 10 for 12 tonight, right?
Yeah,
he was 10 for 12.
He's an efficient player. He started the game very aggressive, and what I like about him is this season, he's added that mid-range. He's added that nice little mid-range free throw.
He's always had that mid-range. He's always had that.
Yeah, but he had it, but he didn't go to it. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, when we were watching him down the stretch in the playoffs, he didn't, or maybe they didn't look for him to shoot that. It wasn't a part of the offense. They were looking for him to catch lobs off the pick and roll. Now they go into that. I loved it. He had a good game, 10 for 12 from the field. And the Phoenix Suns advance after a little scare against the 9th seed Pelicans. Shout out to them. BJ, what was your takeaway from this series? Or also Brandon Ingram, cold hard killer. But BJ, go ahead.
First of all, I want to give high praise, if I can, to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes.
I want to give high praise. You know, there's no consolation prize here for losing. When you lose, you lose. There's, you know, I think it was Pat Riley who said it best. You know, there's winning and then there's misery.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in between.
That's life.
However, New Orleans should really be feeling really good about themselves right now. And here's why. First, Coach Willie Green. Exceptional leadership, the preparation, how he was able to communicate and really rally this team this year. They didn't get off to the best start. They continued to plug away. They make a midseason trade, CJ McCollum, which turned tremendous dividends for this team. Brandon Ingram evolved as a true superstar. I can't say enough about the kid. What is it? Herb Jones?
Yes, sir.
I can't say enough about him. I think he's a all NBA defender. Valanciunas. I mean, everything gelled. And not only did it gel, Mo, this was minus perhaps their best player. Didn't play a single minute the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
The future looks bright. I think the work, it's incomplete because they didn't attain what they, you know, it's only one team that's going to attain that or achieve that. But it must be said here, the future looks bright. You certainly like the movement of the organization. Yes. But more importantly, yes, you like that. And you know what? I like the leadership of CJ McCollum. I mean, he's come in and fit seamlessly. I mean, it's like a hand in glove. He came in, it fit for them, it fit for the team, and it looks terrific moving forward. Yeah. So I really like where this franchise is at. I like financially where they're at. And now you just have to wait and see what, Zion, assuming that he comes back there.
Yeah.
How that's going to work.
I think tonight wasn't CJ's best game, but overall his entire body of work since joining the Pelicans has been a net positive. Zion, he's already back doing 360 dunks and all of that. He'll be back ready for next season. I think they would just be ultra careful by not rushing him back in the midst of a playoff run. Fingers crossed. But you know what? The vibe I kind of get, because you know the vibes. Remember in the bubble, the way that the Phoenix Suns closed out the season? They didn't make the playoffs, but they went on that nice little run. Or maybe even last year, how the Memphis Grizzlies closed out the season. They went on a nice little run. They ultimately lost in 5 games. But that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting here from the New Orleans Pelicans, is that they can really exceed expectations next year. They can really do it. And you add Zion Williamson to this team, you're essentially replacing Jackson Hayes with him, and it gets a whole lot scarier.
Mo, here's what I'm concerned about. When you find success, that's called chemistry. Okay? When you find success, it works. And what I'm really concerned about, Mo, is you're going to incorporate a talent. We're saying that he's a star talent.
Yes.
He's a very efficient player in Zion. That's going to throw off the chemistry of this team as is. Okay? JV's going to play differently with Zion next to him. Brandon Ingram's have to play different with Zion in the lineup, CJ McCollum, so forth and so on. So what we're saying is when you incorporate a talent like Zion, it's going to be a different team. And that, to me, is going to determine the future, and that's going to be the key element. Because if they start off slow next year with Zion, like they did this year, where were they, like 1-11 or something?
1-12, 1-12 to begin.
1-12. Okay, if that happens next year, Mo, you and I are going to be saying who we're going to trade for. Okay, Where this year we thought they were just tanking, right? Come on, Mo. Just let's say. Yes. But they weren't tanking. They kept it together. They stayed the course, and you give them credit. So next year, let's see how they're going to get this team together, provided all of those guys come back. Because Brandon Ingram, CJ McCullough is going to be there for this whole season. This team, as it's currently, all the players are currently there. They're saying, hey, we got to the playoffs last year minus this guy. Mm-hmm. And it's only natural for him to say, I just have to fit in now. Mm-hmm. Now, that's Mo. That's going to throw everything off.
I think it's a luxury. You got a top 25 player in the league coming back and joining you, and you always say great players find a way to figure it out. And if I see anyone moving, would be JV. The same way the Memphis Grizzlies moved on from JV when they were trying to reach that next level and, have their other guys doing more.
Okay, but Mo, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, Mo. You have to be very careful here because of the following. Durability is an issue.
Yeah.
And before you start trading players mm-hmm. and doing all of these things, you and I both know this. Everyone is an ankle sprain or an injury away from being in the lottery.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket based on projections. JV has been really solid. He's been a durable player for the most part. And I think it's careful. I think it's going to be very, I think they have to really look at this and really be, they have to be really exact on how they want to look at this or how they're going to execute this. I think you're going to have to limit his minutes.
Yeah, coming back. It's going to be interesting, but we're going to have to see what they do over the offseason. Of course, they do have a pick coming to them from the Los Angeles Lakers, I believe.
Wow. So, and they've drafted well. They've drafted well. Right now, I can't say anything about the Phoenix. All I can say is job well done. Willie Green, David Griffith, the general manager, president out there. I can't say anything. You know what? Enjoy your offseason, guys. And we'll see you next season. And on paper, we're looking for them now to be in the upper echelon of the Western Conference. How about that, Mo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And up there waiting for them will be the reigning Western Conference champions, the Phoenix Suns, who took them out in 6 games. And they move on to the next round. BJ, how are you feeling about the Phoenix Suns' chances? Because I feel like now it's not as clear-cut as it was before the playoffs began, where we expected Phoenix to get straight back to the finals.
You know how I'm feeling? Woo!
Relieved.
Mo.
Relieved.
Yes, Mo. I'm great. We survived this and we're advancing. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. I don't feel, making a statement or we looked terrific or we played our best basketball or any of that. I picked Phoenix at the beginning of the season. I'm going to stick with it. But what I will say I did like about this team is, Mo, when the going got tough, what they say, the tough get going.
Yes.
Hey, Mo, they showed me a little something. Chris Paul showed me a little. Mo, when they needed Chris Paul, he showed up.
Yeah.
Now. And Mo, I'm going to give a 36-year-old guy who looked old in one of those games, Game 3, when Alvarado was
harassing him. Chris Paul went into the phone booth and showed up, Mo, and they say he showed out. The guy was simply was simply flawless. He was. I've never seen such masterful work against the 9th seed that got in through the play-in. I thought it was a great series. It was great fun. And the Phoenix Suns advance, where they will be facing the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic took care of them in Utah tonight. Don Luka. Who do you like? I don't know. When are we going to start previewing these matchups? But it can be a quick one. Who do you like in that matchup? Phoenix versus Dallas.
Mo, why are you asking me that?
Come on.
Mo, why are you asking? Mo, you know who I like. You know who I like. I'm going with the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
I'm going with the Phoenix Suns.
Tell me why.
Why? Depth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with depth. I like their bigs. I think in this series, you're going to see DeAndre Ayton. You're going to see JaVale McGee. I think these guys are going to play at a very high level. Chris Paul, if this is any indication of what he's capable of doing, I think I like the matchup with him and Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. Look, Luka is going to do what Luka is going to do. However, I like the bodies that Phoenix can throw at him with Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Shamet. Just keep throwing bodies
Cam Johnson, you got some size there as well.
Cam Johnson, yeah. I just keep throwing bodies at him, and you're not going to stop them. So we're not going to worry about that. And I like the depth of the team, Cameron Payne. You just keep throwing bodies out there, Bismack Biyombo. So I think the depth has an opportunity to really wear this team down as the series gets into game 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Now, in saying all of that, Mo, as I told you at the beginning, when you have a player like Luka is capable of winning a series.
Yep.
They have a closer. And if this team, the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd has been superb in round 1.
Did the Dallas Mavericks have the best player in the series?
I'm going to say this, Mo. The most experienced player in the series is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Now,
it is weird.
Luka is Luka, and Luka right now is probably the best player.
Yes.
When you look at the season, in a series, Chris Paul is the most experienced. And I will say this, Chris Paul is still capable of playing a full 48-minute game. Devin Booker is a very capable player that can play a full 48-minute game with anybody. Now, Luka is Luka. But I'm not afraid of that matchup. Okay. Now, and the reason I'm not afraid of that matchup is because Luka is still trying to figure out who he's going to become on the defensive end. Where right now, I think Chris Paul and Devin Booker are more consistent than he is on the defensive end at this stage. But Luka on the offensive end can get shots. He can create offense. I
think the Dallas defense was good.
The Dallas defense is good. But
talking of experience, how weird is it to look at a Dallas bench and not see JJ Barea there? Because it felt like he was going to be on a Dallas bench forever. That guy was just always around. Just always around.
I'm gonna let you have your moment. What do you
mean my moment? Yeah, I ain't got no stake in this fight. That's a legendary throwback player.
But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But I think the depth.
And how many games do you think
the difference? 6.
I think Suns in 6 is the reasonable shout.
Yeah, that's what I said. Suns in 6.
Phoenix in 6 games. So, I like it. Are we going to talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz, who got sent home once again?
No, I'm not talking about the Jazz.
BJ's not talking about the Utah Jazz. Okay,
I'm not talking about the Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
You can talk about the Jazz. Yes, I've been saying. I'm just going to repeat what I said. Something looks wrong with the Jazz, Mo. I've been saying that, and now I can't wait to see Danny, because I'm going to ask Danny what's going on in Utah, because Danny Ainge is something's going on in.
Something's going to change.
When I see Danny,
they can't run it back.
When I see Danny, I'm going to say, Danny, so you and I grab a coffee. What's going on in Utah? Because this is unbelievable to me. Like, you watch things and you go, what's going on? That's a good team over there. Good players.
Yeah, good, not great. Being the key emphasis point. They're a good team. They're a good team. They're not a great team. They're a good team. They're a good team. They'll win you regular season games. They get you to the first round of the playoffs, maybe even the second round if you're lucky. They ain't winning nothing anytime soon. They can't afford to run that team back, because it's going to be the same result over and over again. Okay. They're going to have to make changes. They're going to have to start moving some pieces around. They're going to have to try and get some guys that can play perimeter defense. Rudy Gobert is great at protecting the rim, But you saw it today. The Dallas Mavericks went small, pulled Rudy Gobert out to the corner. So now if he comes across the weak side to help, they're going to kick to the corner shooter. If he stays home, there's no one protecting the rim. It's not his fault, but guys on the perimeter just get blown by. So they're going to have to get some guys that can guard out on the perimeter to actually help him. Offensively, if they move Donovan Mitchell, then that's going to be a big hole in their team. I'm really worried that they'll just re-sign Joe Ingles and just run it back one more time. And we'll have this conversation next year. So let's keep it moving from Utah. There was a great series that came to a very boring end over in the Eastern Conference. The Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers Game 6 was a blowout win.
Boring? Did you say boring?
Yes.
Why was this boring?
It was a 35-point win for the Philadelphia 76ers.
For the Philadelphia faithful, this was a very exciting win.
Yeah, up until halftime when they were up by 20 plus, and you're just like, okay, so this game is done. Let me switch over to the Phoenix game. Like, okay, if you find a 35-point win exciting, fair play to you. But I did not find it exciting. I mean, there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of petty fouls and no calls and flagrant calls and all this kind of stuff. You could find exciting, but I like the games that are close. I like the games that go down to the wire, like the Mavericks. And by the way, Bojan Bogdanovic missing a wide open three-pointer at the buzzer for the Utah Jazz that could have sent them to a Game 7. Bojan, you're supposed to be a European sharpshooter. Come on, bro. These are the moments you're made for. You are perfectly designed to shoot open three-pointers. You got to make that. But anyway, the Raptors put up a good fight. They were 3-zip down. They won 2 in a row. Series finished 4-2. Doc Rivers escapes the playoff choking allegations for now, because it would have been very peak if they had lost that 3-zip lead. James Harden survives the allegations.
This is
for now.
That's why. Oh no. Okay,
Joel Embiid survives the allegations for now. We got to see what happens in the next round. But what a great series it was. It really was, because they were up 3-zip. Could have swept them. Could have gentlemen swept them. Ended up winning 4-2. I like the fight for the Raptors, especially without Fred VanVleet. Scotty Barnes playing through an injury. You love to see that from young players. You love to see the heart, the hustle, the grit. Pascal Siakam in the 2 games that they won in the 3rd game, he looked like a superstar player, or maybe not quite a superstar. He looked like a star player, definitely an all-NBA caliber player, the way that he was playing. The Raptors have a lot to be encouraged by. They've got a lot to look forward to moving forward, especially as Scotty Barnes makes the leap. Precious Achiuwa had a great series. And if he can continue to contribute like this, especially offensively, and improve during the offseason, then I think they've, Masai's once again done it. So encouraging signs for the Raptors. Philly, on the other hand, had a little bit of a scare, but then they had a lot of a rest between the last game and this game. And James Harden used that time to rest, and he came back with a bang. He started off the game strong, throwing down a dunk. What did he finish with? 22 of 15 and 6. Solid performance from the bearded one. He did what he needed to do and beat at 33-10. Maxey had a 25. When those 3 are firing and you're getting contributions from role players, it's hard to stop that team. BJ, what were your thoughts and takeaways from this series?
Give Philly credit for regrouping, rallying the troops on the road, and figuring out how to play. They came and established that this was going to be a fight right from the get-go. Sort of like what Giannis did the night before there in Milwaukee.
When they went to Chicago for Game 3, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about in the last game. The very last game.
Game 5, yeah, okay.
The first play of the game was a dunk by Giannis. Giannis came right from the get-go and said, hey, I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
I got to give Philly credit. Philly came right from the get. They didn't.
Well, it's third time lucky.
Game. Yeah, no, it wasn't third time lucky.
It was literally third time lucky, because the first 2 times they lost. They were up 3-zip, and the first 2 times they tried to close it out, they lost. So it was third time.
Okay, you're asking me what I thought, and then you're gonna tell me what I said. No, if you want to talk, I'll let you talk, Mo. You said, what did you think?
No, you said no, but the difference is Giannis had a chance to close it out, and he closed it out. These guys had a chance to close it out. They lost twice. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Okay. Again, tonight's game. You asked me, what did I think about tonight? Is that not the question? You said, what do you think about tonight?
No, my question was, what are your takeaways from the series? But go ahead.
Okay. What did I take from the series? All right. Well, let's reopen the question. What do I think about the series? It was great to see Philadelphia take control of this series. And then when it was faced with pressure, like they were tonight, there was a little chit chatter on the outside, people saying, what's going to happen, so forth and so on. The Philadelphia 76ers, I was glad to see, brought the fight to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very happy to see that. They didn't wait for the game and we're going to ease our way into it. The Sixers really went out and took this game. They established Joel Embiid. And the thing that is very apparent with me in this series is the emergence as Tyrese Maxey now is, I don't want to say he's the best player on the team, but right now, Tyrese Maxey is bringing the energy to this team, okay? He's the energy. Now, Joel Embiid is going to get the touches and score and get all the double teams. But slowly but surely, I'm seeing the following. The ball is being taken out of James Harden's hands as the primary ball handler, and they're putting it into Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is the player, I believe now, that Doc Rivers and that staff, they trust most to be able to provide the energy and the push and play downhill. It's really apparent to me in this series that James Harden right now is struggling to blow by defenders. And because of that, they're going to need a player who can break down the defense. Tyrese Maxey is without question the best option now.
He is.
And they're going to have to, and at some point here, Doc Rivers is going to have to take James Harden off the ball just make him into a scoring guard.
Do you think Tyrese Maxey is the quickest player in the league right now?
Tyrese Maxey, he plays downhill.
Do you think anyone runs as quick as it? Because he is lightning.
I mean, he the way he plays, he just looks fast. I mean, but some of these guys are so fast. You look at Ja Morant, you look at these guys, all these guys are moving.
Insane.
But I can tell you this, Tyrese Maxey right now, he provides the energy. He is the leader of the team when you want to find out at what pace they're going to play at tonight. He sets the tone.
And he hit 5 threes too.
That's what I'm saying. I think Doc Rivers, when it all comes down, you look tonight, think about this. All right, I'm going to just look at the stats as we're talking here. Tyrese Maxey, here's the thing about it. I'm just going to look this up right quick. I want to make sure. All right, when you look at who played on the road, he played the most minutes. He played 44 minutes tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Joel Embiid plays 35 minutes. Green.
Yeah, Embiid got hit with that nasty elbow from Siakam that took him out at the end.
Okay. Yeah, take him out. Okay.
Oh, shout out to Danny Green, by the way. That first quarter 3-point explosion, 4 threes back in his former arena. That was nice from him.
Yeah. But to me, Tyrese Maxey, you have to be able to play with a perimeter player who can play downhill. James Harden right now, okay, it's not time to be experimenting anymore. If you're going to play, Tyrese Maxey is going to provide that. I think this next series, Maxey is going to have to be the best guard in the series if they're going to win. Okay? He's going to have to be the best guard. And Miami is going to have to contain him. Now, I like this matchup, Bam and Embiid. I'm really excited about that. James Harden. Hey, I like that matchup here. But I'm not expecting James Harden to be that James Harden. Again, Tyrese Maxey, I think, is going to have to really step up to the plate and provide the energy that's necessary. And he's a very capable player. So congrats to them. I think the next series, it's going to be a tale of who Philly really is. And I'm really looking for it. I mean, exceptional coaching will be on both sides, and I think it's going to be a hard fought.
Are we going to get a DeAndre Jordan
Jimmy
appearance?
Butler? I think we probably will.
Okay, because we did we see him in this series?
Well, I don't think this was a series. You will always trust me on this. To win this thing, you're going to need everybody on that bench. You're going to need everybody. So somebody's good. Embiid will probably be in foul trouble one or two games in the series.
What I was thinking, because Jimmy Butler applies pressure to the rim.
Okay. Well, I'll live with Jimmy applying pressure. I'll live with that.
I think the Raptors were a good kind of, I don't want to say a warm-up because that's disrespectful to the Raptors, but in terms of a team that can play that great defense where they just clamp you up from all five positions that the Miami Heat love to do, I think it sets the Philly team in good stead for kind of a little bit of what to expect. Not that it's the same by any stretch, but
I don't think so.
What I mean is they're kind of a little bit battle tested now going into the next round. Whereas the Heat,
Philly,
yeah, because they actually had someone put up a fight against them. Whereas the Heat and the Bucks and the Celtics, they just walked into the second round. They didn't have anything like, if we're going to keep 100, they didn't really have a tough time getting to the second round. They've been coasting. Boston won at 4, Milwaukee won at 5, Miami won at 5. They weren't really scared. Well, weren't really worried.
Mo, okay. But here's what we have to shed light on. It took Philadelphia 3 tries to get that final game.
Yeah.
So this could have very easily, Mo, been a sweep. But give them credit. Miami probably should have been a sweep, and they lost the game. Certainly Milwaukee, they were sleeping in game 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And lost the game. So losing, Mo, is always good for your team. Why? Because it wakes you up. Mm-hmm. So it wakes you up. Now everybody has everyone's attention. And this is going to be good. I think the next round is going to be terrific basketball, especially in the Eastern Conference. I will be there for every minute.
I'm going to need a prediction for the Miami Heat versus the Chicago Bulls. Which team and in how many games?
Miami Heat versus
not Chicago
Bulls.
Man, it's past 6 a.m. You can see outside. The Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm going to go Philly.
Yeah. In how many games?
I'm going to go Philly. Philly in 5.
Wow. They ain't got the home court advantage. So we're saying they'll split the first 2 and then win the next 3. Is that how it's?
Philly. I'm going Philly in 5.
That's a hot take, I think. I'm rocking with Miami.
Okay. I'm going to go Philly. I'm going to go Philly.
I want to make it more fun. I'll go with Miami. If BJ goes Philly, I'm going to go with Miami.
I agree. You know what? I mean,
it could go either way. I think it'll be close.
It could go either way. You know what I mean?
I don't think
you just asked me, and off the top,
I think it'll be. I think it'll be 6 or 7 games. I personally, someone asked me earlier. I said right now I'm leaning towards Miami in 7, just because of that Miami defense is amazing. But it all depends on how Bam Adebayo can deal with Joel Embiid, and I need to see that matchup in the playoffs. It's different to the regular season. I need to see that matchup.
I think Joel is just too big.
Yeah,
Bam is great. I love Bam, but Joel is just too big. If Joel is healthy and aggressive and all those things, I think he's too big.
And I'm going to need a prediction for the other series in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, the other. Would you care to?
The main event.
Oh.
The main event. The first round matchup between the Celtics and the Nets was the most viewed first round matchup in the Eastern Conference since the 2012 New York Knicks and I think Boston Celtics. And it was the most viewed first round matchup since, I believe, 2016 in the entire NBA. So, yeah, it is the main event. The defending champions take on the hottest team in the league right now, the only remaining undefeated team in the NBA, the world famous Boston Celtics.
I'm gonna go Boston. I'm in Boston. I'm gonna go Milwaukee. I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 5. I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 5.
In 5.
I see a huge challenge out for Giannis right now.
In 5, though.
I see a huge challenge.
In 5, though.
I'm going.
You think Tatum and the boys only win one game in the whole series?
I see a huge challenge on the table right here. And here's the challenge I see. Giannis is going to be sitting in Milwaukee. And he's just going to be sitting, and the question is going to be repeated to him. What are you going to do, Giannis, to counter the great defensive team of the Boston Celtics?
And what's he
going to do? They shut down KD.
What's he going to do?
And I think he's going to do what all great players do. He's going to rise to the occasion.
Well, not all great players, because Kevin Durant clearly didn't.
No. Every great player, Giannis included, had moments. Okay, every great player has to fall down. I love the arc of the hero. See, failure to your generation is like, oh, I can't. No, believe it or not, Mo, I missed more shots in my life than I made.
Yeah, that's everyone.
Okay. Believe it or not, every player didn't make every shot, and every great player didn't win every series.
Yes.
Believe it or not, every great player had some bad games and some bad series in there.
Yeah, that was KD in his final season in OKC before he went to join the Warriors. That's the story arc. We're not doing this KD arc.
Okay. Yeah. It's not even about KD. Every player, every single player who put on that uniform, you can go find a bad game, a bad series. You can find it. Now, this is what I love about Giannis. Giannis had a bad series too. And while everyone said, oh, you can just wall him off and we know how to stop him. Great players figure it out.
Yeah. Well,
great player. Great players figure it out. And he's going to sit there in Milwaukee. I mean, he's going to sit there and we're going to find out how good everybody really is. Because I can assure you this. And I'm going to tell you the funniest thing of the playoffs so far. And Mo, maybe you can look this up because I know you love stats. You know what's the funniest thing I've seen in the playoffs?
Go ahead. How
many offensive charges Giannis got or received in the first round versus the Bulls?
Yeah. That was their strategy because they had no shot blocker. They just thought, let me try to take a charge.
Mo, the guy must have had 12 to 16 offensive fouls, at least. I'm just counting off memory. I don't know how many he had. But that to me was funny because you know what? He doesn't care. Because let me assure you, with these great defensive teams all know, he's coming. Mo, he's coming. Mo, this isn't like he's not going to the fadeaway. He's not going to the step back. Mo, he's coming. Okay, you took an offensive foul, and I'm gonna say this. I want to see the first official in the playoffs call 6 offensive fouls versus that guy. I can guarantee you he won't be doing another playoff game. Mo, the guy's coming. I can't wait. I'm just looking forward to it because Mo, this to me, it's cracked me up. The Bulls thing was the funniest thing I've seen so far.
Okay, so I was saying Milwaukee going to win the series. I said it on Heat Check the other day on Sky Sports. I said Milwaukee will win this. They've got Drew, who's a great defender. Giannis is a great defender.
So you're going to say what, 6 or 7? So you got 3 options here.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
7 or 4.
I'm not finished.
Okay, all right.
See, I was saying Milwaukee is going to win this series. I was saying. Okay, maybe Milwaukee win it in 6 or so. But when PJ Armstrong comes here and says Milwaukee going to win it in 5, that doesn't sit right with my spirit. I'm going to tell you, I've changed my mind after hearing that disrespect. Okay. The Boston Celtics are winning this series in 7 games.
Okay.
And Jason Tatum's going to carry that fourth quarter in game 7. That's what I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
Chris Middleton is out for the entire series.
I respect that.
Allegedly. Chris Middleton is reportedly out for the entire series. Jason Tatum is playing at a bona fide superstar level. And as much as you can't stop Giannis, good luck trying to stop Jason Tatum. And if you do
we're not going to try. We're not going to stop. We're not going to even try to stop him. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put together a game plan.
VJ has joined the Milwaukee Bucks for this series.
No, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, in the NBA, you don't stop a great player. Who said they're going to stop a great player?
Well, the Celtics did with Kevin Durant, and they did.
There's only two ways to stop a player. Your team is going to stop them because you're not putting your best player. If you got a great player and you can't find operating space, that's on you. That's on you. This is a great player.
What?
I have a great player. Now, everybody in the league knows this. It's virtually impossible to stop a player that can go to the post, play off the dribble, catch and shoot, go to the mid-range, has footwork. That's impossible. Unless the coach just says, hey, I'm not making any adjustments in the game. It's impossible. That's impossible.
Well,
I got
Celtics
KD. I can.
KD.
Exactly. The Celtics did it. Okay. All right. That's impossible. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, there's some things I know I could have done with KD to find him some space to operate. And if he misses the shot, I can live with that. But you can't tell me with a player of his caliber and his versatility that they're going to be double teaming me with Kevin Durant. No, that's no, 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 that's not happening. Now, let me tell you with Giannis, he's coming.
You've said, you have let us know.
He's coming. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. And if he start making it, and Mo, let me tell you something. Normally, I don't say this. But I'm going to say this here. If he makes 1 or 2 threes, you have no chance. That's anybody he plays in the league.
That's fair.
If he makes 1 or 2 threes, because this player is coming and he's going to find some space on that floor. You know, that's what I'm saying. Mo, okay, just think of this, Mo. And I played with a few great players in my life. But here's one of the things that always, Mo, just imagine this, Mo, because you and I, maybe you, but I didn't have the talent to do this. How could I, Mo, be stopped if I could defensively rebound the ball and push it out? That's virtually impossible.
What do you mean, maybe me?
Yeah, well, Mo, you're the guy that's going to score 40 in the celebrity game. So I mean, you got to score.
Not in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
the NBA playoffs is very different. But
you're going to have to play. Mo, if you could rebound the ball and push it out, it's virtually impossible to stop someone.
That's exactly what I've been saying. They can't guard him like they guarded KD. KD was at his spot. They pushed him off the spot. Giannis is a one-man wrecking train. But if you guys at home didn't know, BJ Armstrong would like you to know that Giannis is coming for the Boston Celtics in the second round. But that's almost every second round matchup planned. But there is one more that remains to be seen. The Golden State Warriors are not sure yet who they're going to be playing. We have a game 6 tonight in Minnesota where the Timberwolves trail 3-2 as Memphis Grizzlies hold the lead in that series. Can the Timberwolves force a game 7?
Mo, when you have an opportunity to win games in the playoffs, you better win them.
Did you see what they said today?
I didn't see what they said today. You know what, Mo? I've taken my own advice.
I would tell you what they said.
I've turned off. When I watch the games, Mo, I turned off the volume now.
I'm going to tell you what they said.
What'd they say?
Malik Beasley and Karl-Anthony Towns said.
Read me exactly.
I ain't going to read it. I remember it. It was just one. Okay. They said, we feel like we should be up 4-1. We feel like we should be at home resting like the Warriors right now.
All right.
They're down 3-2, but they feel like they're 4-1 up. This team, should I tell you the key to Minnesota winning this game? BJ, there's only one key to Minnesota winning this game. If you get a lead, Minnesota Timberwolves, listen to this message. If you get a lead in this game, if you're up 5, up 10, up 20, here's how you win. Don't celebrate. Because every time you get a lead and start celebrating too early, you lose it. So let's try to be humble and not celebrate until the final buzzer goes. That's my team talk. That's my thing. They'll be up 21, throw away the lead. They'll be up 12, 13, 14, throw away the lead. Just stop celebrating before the game's done. It's very simple. I don't see many other teams do it. So that's my game plan for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I would love to see a game 7. We've not had a game 7 yet in the first round. I think we are owed by the forces that be in the basketball realm a game 7 between these two teams.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave though. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna focus on the main event, because that to me is way more interesting to hear people. I know these guys are going to show up. I know Boston is going to show up. I know Milwaukee's going to show up. And I know loose balls are going to be, people are going to be fighting. Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday. I mean, Mo, you know what I'm excited for? Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday defensive pressure. That's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to see Jason Tatum and Giannis. And I'm excited to see Brook Lopez and the Time Lord. And I'm excited to see the coaching that's going to happen. The crowds are going to be.
See, this is where Minnesota will be missed, because Jaylen Brown is still out there and ready. You know what I'm saying? With no counter. We're going to rely on Grayson Allen for 20 points. We'll rely on Grayson Allen.
But I'm going to rely on Grayson Allen if the following occurs. Just like the Bulls, if they elect to double team him, there will be someone that will have an open shot. And Grayson Allen can shoot and make open shots.
And so can Bobby Portis with the goggles. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
we're going to be in the studio on Sunday night.
Bobby Portis and your guy Williams. What's your guy? What's his name?
Grant Williams.
Grant Williams. Yeah. It's gonna be. Be
ready. Is he evenly matched?
Hey, Mo, can I say this too?
Okay.
I will be shocked to see if the Boston Celtics are more physical than the Milwaukee Bucks.
Prepared to be shocked.
Okay, well, I know it's two guys. Three guys that's not going to be pushed around. Okay.
I don't think anyone on the team's getting pushed around.
Yeah, Drew. Well, it's going to be. You know what? To be honest with you, there's no one's going to be pushed around. No one's pushing Drew Holiday around. No one's pushing Giannis, Bobby Portis around. No
Pat Connaughton, Bruiser, Grayson Allen, Bruiser.
No,
come on, man. No one pushing those boys around.
Not those guys. But what's the other guy's name? Man, I'm getting bad now with the names. You know what I'm talking about? Wes Matthews.
Wes Matthews, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and Javon Carr. No one's pushing big bad Javon Carr around.
Yeah. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
Okay. Well,
and then if the game gets too physical, I will put the big fella in.
Who? Brook.
Serge. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go on record right now. He's going to be the difference in the series. Serge Ibaka.
Interesting.
Serge is going to be the difference in this. Serge is going to be Serge Ibaka, just like he was the difference in that series when the Raptors beat the Warriors. Serge is going to be the difference.
Okay.
In the series.
Okay.
His offensive rebounding.
Okay. All I can say is we'll see. Game 1, we're going to be in the studio for this weekend. Make sure you tune in. And if you're in the UK, it streams for free on YouTube, so you can watch it there. One more thing we got to talk about before we go. Zach LaVine, free agent this summer. DeJounte Murray from the same hometown as him, just tweeted a picture of Zach LaVine in a full San Antonio Spurs kit, fully photoshopped. That's funny.
Okay, Mo.
I'm going to just leave you with that news. Mo. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. No.
This is, I'm going to leave, Mo, I'm going to allow you, who is the expert at talking about things outside of the lines. I'm not qualified to talk about this. So could you explain to us and the listeners what this photo is all about? What is it all about, Mo?
It's a picture of Zach LaVine, but somebody
somebody.
No,
I'll
get to it. I'm gonna get to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take them on a journey here. Now, there's a photo of Zach LaVine and somebody who's very good at Photoshop. Dare I say, a professional has edited this photo so that he is in a full San Antonio Spurs kit. And when I say a professional, I say this because as someone who spends a lot of time in the creative world, I can tell the level of professionalism through the filter that they've applied to the picture, the way that they've blurred out the background, left a drop shadow around the body, and all types of things. A very professional photo has appeared on DeJounte Murray's Twitter feed. Now, I don't know who made that. I don't know who sent it to him. I don't know who told him to post it. I'm going to give you some clues. They're from the same town, same hometown. They have the same agent looking after them. Now, I'm not saying that has anything to do with it. I'm just giving you the clues. Do with that information what you will. And think about why someone would want to start a bidding war for Zach LaVine, who's a free agent this summer. That's all I'm going to say on that. I have no inside information whatsoever. I'm just saying what's publicly known and what may just be a happy coincidence, but I just found rather interesting. That's what we'll leave you with. We're going to be back bright and early on a Monday morning to recap game 1 between the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. And if tonight the Timberwolves and Memphis Grizzlies go to a game 7, well, we'll be recapping that as well because that will take place on Sunday night. We'll be in the studio for that one too, if necessary. So we'll see you next week. We hope you've enjoyed the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K this week. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a review. Leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Tweet it, Instagram it, TikTok it. Tell all of your friends, tell all the basketball lovers in your world to come and tune in with us. We appreciate everyone who does. It really means the world that you share the love, and we appreciate you. That's why we do this. We just want to share the show to as many fans as possible because some of the shows out there are looking all tired and crusty right about now. So we're trying to bring some realness, and we feel that we owe it to all the basketball fans around to share the love with them too. So make sure you tell all your friends to tune in, come rock with us. We're going to be here every Monday to Friday, first thing in the morning. Get your daily dose of NBA updates from Mo Moosey and BJ Armstrong. But until next time, my wonderful people, have a great weekend. Stay blessed. And Ramadan's almost finished, so I'm going to wish you a Eid Mubarak in advance for all my people celebrating. That might be on Monday, so we'll check back in then. And until next time, get buckets.